here by, well, we're going to start some sizzling in some pans in a minute. We're not in the studio this afternoon. We are live on YouTube, live from Meydan HQ. We are spinning it up today with some incredible prizes and an amazing chef. The first hour of the show, we're celebrating all things French. Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham is with us to teach us how to make something really special for the weekend. And then between 2 and 4, I'm going to be taking a seat and meeting some amazing minds behind some of the city's best food, including the husband and wife team from La Fabrica, Palestinian wife, Italian husband. How did they meet? How does that work in the kitchen? And yes, more about his nonna's tiramisu. The news stories that have caught our kind of eye this last week. And where should you go this weekend? And because it's Friday, we've got some brilliant prizes. You can be winning all of the produce that we're cooking with today. If you watch on YouTube and interact in our comments section, you can also be scoring a Spinneys Christmas tree. They're downstairs in the store and they smell absolutely amazing. We've got season tickets to Yes Winterfest. And we could be hooking you up with tickets for Moana. Get me on 4001. More on how to win after the headlines. So those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can see our chef of the day. Chef Hadrien is with us. And I think this is a great opportunity to have a look at some of the ingredients we're cooking with today. Then we come back on the radio, we can reintroduce this to our listeners. Now, I'm no expert, chef, but that looks like an enormous, enormous piece of dough.
It's a beautiful duck breast, yes.
Oh my goodness. So what are we making exactly?
So we're going to make a roasted duck breast with some root vegetables. So basically, we're going to use some parsnips, some carrots. We're going to glaze them. I'll show you a little technique. We're going to saute some mushroom also with it. And we're going to make like a smoked garlic butter.
Oh, now I smelt this produce in Spinneys.
Yeah.
And these are all in store for just Saturday and Sunday. So like a beautiful French market. I'm going to say this wrong, so you're here to correct me. Rongi?
Rangis.
Rangis?
Rangis.
I might get it by the end of the show.
it's like a Disney World for chefs.
What, can you explain what and where it is?
Giant open warehouse where you can find anything that is like food related, from dry items to raw items to anything. So it's like an enormous market in France where all the chefs goes and buy their products.
In Paris or out of Paris?
Just like 20 minutes from Paris.
So you're like a kid in a candy shop at this point?
Basically. Christmas.
What's been the best things you've ever found there?
To be honest, anything that you can find, because it's products from all around the world. So it's actually amazing because it's really an open market and you can walk around. It takes you around a day or a day and a half to do all the stills. Yes, it's giant.
Wow. So we've got a mini version at Spinneys today. When I was getting the ingredients for today, the smoked garlic really caught my mind and my nose. It smells amazing. So we'll do a smoked garlic butter, I think, with that today?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, perfect. So we are watching live on YouTube today. And it's competition time. You could be winning the duck breasts, the radishes. We haven't talked about the radishes yet. The smoked garlic, everything here. By telling me this, what do you think is the best French food? Your favorite French invention, ingredient, dish? We are going to be putting this to chef later in the show, so think about this. It can be anything. 4001 was normally the text line, but today, to win a hamper full of beautiful, fresh French ingredients from Spinneys, get onto the YouTube channel, comment in the section now and tell me your favorite French food. You're not allowed to tell me because we are going to put in the challenge. For me, it has to be baguette. Baguette, salted butter, divine. I can't win, Chef Hadrien can't win, but for that hamper, so you can go to the weekend as a winner, tell me in the comments your favorite French food, ingredient, dish, whatever you like. So we're about to go back onto the radio. We're going to have a bit of a reset. I need to warn you, I'm really average. My mission for this next hour, Hadrien, is to not get in your way.
Good.
So I would just say don't count on me as much as you would normally your sous chef. Your sous chef is here.
Yeah.
We have got some extra assistance in case I really drop the ball.
Yeah.
Just in case. But yeah, what I'm saying is don't rely on me too much. Right, we're about to come back live. You've got everything you need to get cooking?
Yes.
Fantastic. Guys who are watching us on YouTube, so glad you're here. Let me know in the comments your favorite French food to win some amazing, amazing ingredients. And there's more prizes coming up on the show when you keep on tuning into the radio from 2 until 4. We are coming back for our listeners here at Dubai Eye 103.8. Helen Farmer with you, and I'm not alone today. I've got Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham with us, taking us through an amazing dish. And Chef Hadrien, you have worked with some of the greats. You really have. I'm going to embarrass myself with any French pronunciation throughout the course of the afternoon. So let's do a little bit of name dropping. Who have you been cooking alongside and with over the years?
Joël Robuchon, Alain Ducasse, Jean-Pierre Vigato, Alain Passard. So
yeah, there we go.
some very
guys.
little names in France.
And now you're the big guy in the kitchen at Chez Wham, which I spent a very happy Sunday afternoon there. If you haven't been yet, the Chez Wham Sunday brunch, we might talk about a little bit later, but the food's phenomenal. For anyone that hasn't been, what's the DNA of the restaurant? How do you describe it to anyone that hasn't been there yet?
Chez Wham is an extension of my living room. That's what I always say. It's French modern food. It's whatever a chef wants to put on a menu that puts on the menu. And it's a very Dubai restaurant. I think it's like, the future of the restaurant scene here, where it's like kind of like a homegrown concept where you can bring along like, friends and family. And it's just like fun and nice.
It's
place.
A lot of fun. And I know it shouldn't matter when we talk about restaurants, but the music is phenomenal. It's very much my elder millennial born in the early 80s vibe.
Extremely important for me. I think
it really?
Yes. It's not only about the food and the service. I think it's a whole, and the music was like a pinpoint thing to create and to make a place that is becoming like something different in the city.
It's a lot of fun, and the food is not overshadowed by the music. The food is phenomenal. So for those of us who are listening today on Dubai I-103.8, tell us, what are we cooking today in Farmer's Kitchen? Should we get started, actually?
Yes, actually, we are roasting a duck breast, and then we're going to cook it with some beautiful mushrooms and some carrots and parsnip. I'm going to try to show you like different techniques. So we'll do one cream with the celeriac root, and then all the rest of the vegetables will be cooked like in a vegetable stock, let's say. And then we will cook the duck breast and create like a whole dish out of it.
With the ingredients we've got in front of us, I mean, they look literally fresh from the market.
Yeah.
Can you say the name of the market again for me, please?
Rangis.
Rangis. Basically a wonderland for all chefs just outside Paris. And every Saturday and Sunday at select Spinneys stores, it's a mini market. Yeah. We've got some radishes as well that we're going to be... What are we doing with the radishes, Hadrien?
Radishes, we'll see. If we have time, I will do a little surprise.
Okay, then you better get started. What's the first step?
So we'll take the parsnip and the carrots and the celeriac, and I will start with that because it takes a little bit more time to cook. So basically...
Go.
Yeah. So for the celeriac, we want to make a cream, so something a bit different today. We always get used to like some different texture that you want in your dish. So we're going to peel the celeriac, and then we're going to create a little cream out of it, and we're going to season it with vanilla.
Ooh, yeah. I love the idea of using vanilla in the savory.
Yeah, vanilla is not only like let's say a spice that you can use for
ice cream,
only
pastries and things like that. I think it's a beautiful flavor profile, and you can use it for so many different things.
Chef, for the people who are listening rather than watching, I need to draw attention to your knife because that is a thing of beauty. What's the story behind that weapon?
This beautiful weapon actually comes from Japan. Yes, I did a trip there, and it was like a little souvenir I need to bring. That's only a little bit of my collection.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Do you have one of those knife rolls that you travel with and customs doesn't like it very much?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. How do you know that? It's exactly what's happening.
So where you bought it is obviously a very kind of specialized shop in Japan.
Yes, it's basically
like a destination
very
for
specific place in Japan where you can buy it and you can actually like get any knife you want, any type of like sharpening that you want, and it's like super special. And obviously it holds like a special place, because it's always like a little souvenir when you look at it.
Do you cook with it in the restaurant?
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Can I ask, is it expensive?
Yes, it is.
More than like my car?
No, not as much, but like let's say
you don't know what I drive, to be fair.
No, but Japanese blades are like extremely expensive for one reason, because they are obviously like amazing. So
and
that's why
this will be with you for life.
Yeah, it is.
If you look after it.
If you look after it and you take care of it, yes, definitely. So we put some shallots, we put the celery, and then we're going to start like cooking that. I'm just going to grab also some...
Come around, grab what you need. While you do that, what's the difference between an onion and a shallot?
Different way of, same family, but different way of using them. So there is some recipes that you will use onions, some recipe you will use shallots. For this recipe, because we're using also vanilla, I want the sweetness of the shallots to come out. I will say that shallots is something that you can use normally more on like a raw thing.
Okay. Is the flavor profile a little bit softer and sweeter then?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So a little bit of the smoked garlic.
Garlic's gone in, celeriac is in.
Yeah.
And we're going to be boiling this, roasting this?
We're going to kind of like cook it as a cream. So we put salt, we put pepper, then we'll use a little bit of chicken stock and a little bit of cream, and we will let it cook gently.
Can I just say, the chicken stock you've got in your hand there from Spinneys, I use it all the time. I know we're not doing stir fry today, but with the Spinneys stir fry deal, I always get a chicken stock, or I get the pho and make it more of like a ramen broth. I think just to have one in the house at all times is just brilliant, you know, for your soups and your bases.
Look, it's amazing because it's stuff that you don't have time to do at home. To be honest, even us as chef, I'm not going to do my broth every day. So it's a good help because it's actually like, you know, gives you the opportunity to have a more interesting flavor profile.
So we just put some cream in the pot as well. I like that we're doing kind of ASMR cooking today with like the crunch of the salt and the chopping.
Yes.
And we've got some parsnip as well.
So parsnip, basically parsnips and carrots, we're going to use them as like a component of our dish. But for that, you know, I'm not going to like peel the ingredients. I'm going to use them as it is. It's very important, especially for these beautiful items that comes from Radish.
Radish? Am I getting closer?
Yeah. Okay. To basically not to peel them, to keep like kind of like their organic shape. We just want to like, you know, put them on the plate, and it really is like a carrot, you know.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is just like cut, you know, some different shapes.
Get some surface area, and then going into the hot water.
So we start cold water.
Oh, you're starting with cold water?
Yes, very important. For roots vegetables, you always start with cold water. It gives like a better way of cooking the products. If you start boiling, then the ingredients will not cook the same way.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So my brother-in-law is a chef, and he came for Christmas a few years ago, and my husband was making, I think, a cottage pie or shepherd's pie. Something very English. And he was.
I love it.
I do too. Yeah. Like, because you just need to use a fork. There's no need to cut. It's like you can, just like you're a baby, just feeding yourself.
Yeah.
And my husband was chopping carrots in the kitchen. And Ewan has cooked. He was at the St. John in London for a long time, and he now has a Michelin-starred pub in the UK. So he's legit.
Yeah.
And he was watching my husband chopping the carrots, and then he just picked
was getting upset.
He picked up the board with no words and just put it straight into the bin.
Wow.
My husband's a good cook, but I think he was well and truly humbled, and Ian was like, listen, they're not going to cook evenly, okay? And at that point,
let's start it again.
Do you know what? We'll just let Ewan do his thing. But it was interesting bringing him to Dubai, actually, to see which restaurants do you take a chef to. So when you have guests, obviously you have Shewam, and we should say that Shewam means like my place, right?
It's my place, yeah.
Where else do you think in terms of restaurants to wow chefs? Because I feel like Dubai's really raised its game over the last few years.
I think you have so many different type of restaurants now that you can bring people to in Dubai. I think, you know, we have like a lot of like kind of like interesting places where you can find some homegrown concepts. You can find some a bit more like bigger concepts and bigger name. And I think the season is on now. So also you have a beautiful like beach clubs that are open. I do love a bit of Japanese food.
You do.
If I go to a Japanese restaurant, I will go to Mimi Kakushi, which I really love.
Also a good brunch.
Yes, exactly.
So you and I actually kind of had dinner together the other night, but I went to the 6 o'clock setting because I'm in bed by 9.
Yeah.
And because you're like hashtag chef life, you were at Ofali at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, true.
And that was a really fun collaboration to think about using Japanese produce.
I loved it.
And by the time I got home, I had a WhatsApp from someone going, it was so nice to meet you from the General Consul of Japan. And I was like, oh, wow, only in Dubai would you go home with that business card.
Oh, wow, it's insane. Yeah.
But in terms of the sourcing, I thought that was really fascinating to think about bringing together. I mean, the ingredients that night were phenomenal. I know you're really passionate about the sourcing you have at Shewam.
Yeah.
How do you feel like that's changed over the last few years, the availability of the ingredients that chefs are excited about?
I think it's very important for a chef to be able to have ingredients that matters. You know, I think like we used to get some ingredients before and it was just like, random stuff. And I think nowadays you can really source whatever you like. And I think that's what makes actually the big difference because you can really like get a lot of things and you can really like work on it and create interesting things. So we don't have ranges here, but we have kind of like the same with our supplier.
Now, for people who are listening, I just need to explain what Chef just did. We've got a spoon. We've got 2 pans in front of us. And in both pans, you've got a beautiful tablespoon of butter.
Yes.
Butter is better, right, Chef?
So why? For roots vegetables, it's actually super interesting to put butter in it.
In the water, right?
Yeah, in the water, because it's going to basically help you to cook the ingredients.
So we can have a shot of this.
Yeah.
Who can we grab to have a little look?
So you're really going to have like something that's going to be a bit more moist. And obviously, what I want to explain today is like, you see, I put the carrots, I put bay leaves, I put onion. We're going to use that also as a stock. So we are cooking our ingredients inside, but we're using them also as like using the stock to glaze the vegetable at the end.
Beautiful.
So when you put the butter inside and everything, it gives you like an interesting emulsion. And here, obviously,
butter and cream in the same
butter,
pot.
cream, and I put the vanilla pot.
Perfect. So the vanilla's in there with the celeriac and the shallot.
Yeah.
Chef Hadrien is with us today. It is Farmer's Kitchen with me, Helen Farmer. We are live on YouTube. So if you're watching, hop over to our Instagram stories. We've got a link so you can really easily see exactly what's happening in our kitchens at Spinneys HQ. And you can hop into the comments as well. You can be winning all this amazing, amazing produce. We are talking the celeriac, the duck breast, the vanilla pods, not just your essence, no, the good stuff. So let us know in the comments there. Tell us your favourite French ingredient, dish, invention. We're going to be joined next by Neil Gibson and Angelique Dutour from Spinneys to tell us all about Rangis. Almost. Rangis. Okay, I reckon give me half an hour. All of that on the other side of this. You are listening to Dubai Eye 103.8. So now, for those people who are lucky enough to be watching what's going on, is the technical term scoring? How would you describe it?
Scoring. It just helps basically on the beautiful giant duck breast that we have to kind of like release the heat on the fat. And you really have to be careful to not get the meat. It's really like, first of all, it's nice. It's like looking good. And then on top of that, it will really help you to get the fat melting a little bit faster.
Okay. That looks absolutely divine.
And then we'll start roasting the duck.
How long will it take?
Let's say a good 15 minutes, something like that.
Okay.
And we'll put it in the pan, but cold. We start cold.
Does it need to rest?
It needs to rest.
For how long?
I will say half of the time that you cook it.
Okay, is that a good rule of thumb for all meats? Or
yes,
just,
for all meats, especially like big piece of meat, but it's very important. First, we're going to roast it, finish it in the oven, and let it rest.
I think if we're on YouTube, we can do our little French challenge. Are you happy for this to be chilling out for a little while? We can have a chat about your favourite French food?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Right, we're going to bring in our digital team to get a shot. I'm going to be out of shot for this because I've just put my glasses on. So let's have our team to get you mic'd up for this. Don't look at my no, stop it. Stop it. You come in, it's fine. We are friendly in the kitchen. Chef, I've got another microphone for you. Okay, I'm going to put it, sorry. Okay, one for me. It's kind of a this or that, okay, on all things Francais.
Yeah.
Are you ready? This way? Okay. We are talking French food this afternoon and joined by Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham to give us a little rundown on his favourite French food. So the winner stays on, okay? Winner stays on. Chef, croissant or pain au chocolat?
Croissant.
Croissant or baguette?
Baguette.
Baguette or tarte tatin?
Tarte tatin.
Tarte tatin or beef bourguignon?
Tarte tatin.
Tarte tatin or madeleine?
Tarte tatin.
Tarte tatin or steak frites?
Steak frites.
Steak frites or beignet?
Steak frites.
Steak frites or onion soup?
Steak frites.
Steak frites or croque monsieur?
Croque monsieur.
Oh, croque monsieur, escargot.
No, croque monsieur.
We have a winner. It is croque monsieur for Chef Hadrien. Why aren't we making one this afternoon, Chef?
We should have done croque monsieur, actually.
We can do that. Can be like our little weekend treat.
Yeah.
So tell us what's happening in this pan.
So we start the pan cold. It's very important, so you can melt the fat like in a better way.
Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. If you start hot, you're gonna sear the fat, and then you're not gonna be able to melt the fat. So what we do is start cold, and then we really
You're draining it.
Yes, exactly. And again, it's you have to feel it. So you have to check the duck breast.
Did you cut it inside there yourself, or that's just naturally? You see how
no,
you lifted
you have
it?
the two filets. So you have the small fillet, like the filet mignon, and then the big fillet.
Oh wow!
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long will they be in the pan for?
Let's say a good, I don't know, maybe 8 minutes, something like that.
What can we be doing in the meantime?
In the meantime, we're going to do a little dressing that will go with that. So I'm a big fan of like savory and sweet things.
Me too.
So we'll put some maple syrup, then a little bit of pepper, some salt.
So it's going to be like a sauce rather than a glaze?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And we're going to put
Is that Dijon?
whole grain
grain.
mustard. Yes. I like the whole grain. I think it gives more flavor and texture. So I feel like it's something more interesting for that.
But the basis of that would be an amazing like salad dressing as well if you did some oil in there. And
exactly. And what we're going to do is we're going to use it also to deglaze with the chicken stock in the pan. And to create kind of like a glaze out of it.
Oh, that sounds... The smell is amazing, guys. I wish you could have kind of the YouTube smell-o-vision. Don't forget, guys, please keep the comments coming in our YouTube channel. We want to know your favourite French ingredient or dish, invention. Chef Hadrien, for him, croque monsieur, it turns out. Do you know what? Producer Jen has had a fantastic one from Spinneys downstairs for her lunch. So she's having she's a little carb coma. It's because she went to the deli counter for a Spinneys croque monsieur.
Yeah.
So let us know that. You could be winning all of the ingredients we're cooking with today, absolutely everything, from the duck breast to the chicken stock, the maple syrup we've just put into this dressing, whole grain mustard, and of course the beautiful, beautiful fresh produce that is in stores every single weekend. And I mean, talk about fresh. This just looks like it's come straight from the farm to the market and into our kitchen here at Spinneys.
It smells like it's the beauty, you know. That's what makes the difference.
We haven't talked about. Are we going to be using these mushrooms, chef? Or
we're going to saute them.
We are.
Yes, that's why I'm keeping also the fat of the duck, obviously. Very French of us, you know.
We are going to come back in just a few minutes, catch up with our friends who are tuning in this afternoon, give them a bit of a recap on what's been happening in the kitchen over the last few minutes. And then we're going to be speaking to some of the team here at Spinneys who actually are responsible for bringing these ingredients to us because they're just back from France. And I think they might even have a little gift for us. I know.
Very nice.
That's the word on the street.
Why they didn't brought me to France with them?
I know. Do you know what? You could do that. Can you imagine having like a chef's tour of the best markets in the world?
Wow.
That would be amazing.
I mean, 100%.
Oh, look, here they are. We're having, there's a beret.
Oh la la,
so,
oui, oui.
And I should just say, Angelique Dutoit, it's a very, I feel like we've gone full French today. I'm here for it. So we're going to be joined by Neil Gibson and Angelique Dutoit from Spinneys with some gorgeous ingredients. Talk about a little bit about their trip as well. So we're coming back on Dubai I-103.8 right now. Oh, the smell. Chef?
Yes?
We've got a pan that's being a bit enthusiastic here. Helen Farmer with you. We are live from Spinneys. So glad you're here. As you might be able to hear, we've got some sizzling going on in the kitchen. Spinneys HQ is where it's at once a month, where we cook up something fantastique with a chef. Today, Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham. If you've just tuned in, we are going to be, well, it's already in the pan. Beautiful duck breast. We've got some celeriac, some cream, some vanilla, some root vegetables, and of course a whole lot of butter. And we've got some guests joining us in some French headgear. Neil Gibson from Spinneys and Angelique Dutoit coming with guys, the ingredients.
Straight from Paris.
Bonjour, bonjour.
Oh my goodness, this looks absolutely amazing.
Just arrived overnight Paris, Charles de Gaulle to Dubai flights.
Stop it. Were you in France recently then, guys?
I was there last summer. So we've been working on this project for quite a while.
So tell us a little bit about Rangis. Getting that?
Rangis.
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 Yeah. Rangis.
I thought that felt right. Rangis.
Rangis.
Okay, we're getting closer. This amazing market just outside of Paris where, you know, Chef was just saying he's like a kid in a candy land going there. And you're having a mini version in certain Spinneys stores every Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
Neil, can you tell us, what did you, apart from the hat, what did you bring us today?
Okay, so we brought you a fantastic selection of products from France. There's actually 15 lines in total. Yeah. We have the bunched carrots, which are absolutely super fresh, as you can see.
They look like cartoon carrots.
Yeah, they are so fresh. It's incredible. The chestnuts, these are actually biodynamic, which is beyond organic. It's like using hundreds of years old techniques to grow products. So it's fantastic. The onion shallot braid.
Yes. What we were just cooking with.
Yes.
Yep. What else do we have?
We have the feijoas.
What is this?
This is a cross between a guava
and a pineapple.
I think we might need to do a little taste test on that.
It's actually Brandy's favourite fruit.
Is that right?
Yeah, Brandy Scott. Yeah, we saw her yesterday. She was very excited. So we will make sure she gets some of those. And we've also got
some of the fennel and the
fennel.
clementine.
Fennel with a little leaf, just to make it a bit more authentic.
All the way from Corsica.
And these are Corsican, yeah. So Corsica, obviously part of France. These are clementines with leaves from Corsica.
Yeah.
Very short season.
Beautiful.
People get super excited about that.
We've got some festive food. Now, this isn't our festive special. That's next month.
That's
but,
right.
You know, chestnuts and clementines, and you know, to have these on the table, just gorgeous. Angelique, what is this?
So this week, last week we had some fresh, which you'd call fresh ginger. This week it is young ginger. So a lot more tender, not as pungent, a lot more mild. Really incredible for cooking, where the other would be more for making tea.
Oh, this is like outstanding.
Could you chop it and just see what you just have?
Yeah, of course.
Would you cook with this
The rest
differently
is
to
outside.
your ginger?
No, but it's like extremely fresh, so you can see like the profile
Oh my goodness! Yeah,
flavor is way different than like a big piece of ginger.
it's not as woody.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
Okay.
like
The
it's
best
actually
is
very nice
actually
to put
tasting
in. You know?
it now. Cutting a thin slice and eating is completely different to the older ginger.
That's so interesting.
I'll actually put it in the stock.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
I love
Late
this.
ingredient.
So here's a question. I've got no idea what to do with a chestnut. What would we do with this?
You'd want to roast them
Okay.
in the oven for
Yes.
maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, roasting is one of it. You could also, it just goes lovely in a soup. So there's one of the restaurants in Jumeirah, I think it's called The Artisan. They've got a soup that has the chestnuts in it. So when you're basically consuming the soup, it's got thinly sliced pieces of chestnut in it. It's incredible.
Chef Hadrien, what's the flavour profile of a chestnut like? I don't think I've ever eaten one in my life.
Hold on.
I love
Where's all the
chestnut. I mean,
different-
What
yeah.
do you do with it?
I don't know. I think it's something that is very typical to like French kids. We have it on the street. You know, it's like warm and it's like charcoal.
At Christmas time?
Well,
In the
exactly.
winter?
Christmas, every time that it's cold. And I use it a lot in our cooking, especially during Christmas season. We put it for like roasted with mushrooms or like, you know, it gives this like a fattiness, but also like more like a hearty flavor.
So I've had it in stuffing before, actually. So we're going to be talking turkey soon. Neil, you've got some beautiful mushrooms. What's this variety?
So this is the chanterelle. This is a wild mushroom, so it's not cultivated. You have to physically go into the woods and forage them. And this is, again, it's from France. So a very short season. We'll be moving between different types of mushrooms each week, whatever they manage to forage. So look out for new varieties each week.
So, as I said, every single weekend you're bringing some French flavour to select stores. Off the top of your head, I'm hoping my local Sakima is going to be having a bit of French flair.
That's one of them. That's
Where
right.
else?
Mercato.
Brilliant.
We also have the Waitrose store on the Kilmall, and we've also got Town Centre Meadows
Town Centre, Kalidia. We have
Kalidia.
one in
in Abu Dhabi. So there's 5
guys,
in total.
that's where you need to be this weekend to have some French flair. What's your pick? If you had to pick a favourite, what do you think is really special?
Well, I've just seen this one, so I was just super excited. This looks so cool. So yeah, I think this is my favourite this week. I think the last week we had some smoked garlic.
Yes,
that's
we're
really
going
fun,
to be
that
getting
one.
into that soon.
So that's a really special one.
What about you, Angelique?
My favorite selection this week, well, when I saw the young ginger, I was like, that was the first one I selected. But the I've never actually myself had a feijoa.
How do you say it again for me?
Feijoa.
Feijoa.
Yeah.
And it's a mixture between a guava and
a pineapple.
So it's actually a New Zealand, more known to be grown in New Zealand, which is why Brandy knows about it.
I'm going to take that, Neil. You can. I also want to steal your beret, but I won't. Thank you guys so much. During our YouTube, so I would say, hop on over there. I'm going to ask Chef Hadrien if he's got a clean knife, so we can have a little taste, because this sounds completely unusual. Sounds like you've been on your travels and brought back some amazing souvenirs. Thank you so much, Neil Gibson and Angelique.
What's your name?
Thank you.
So I end up sounding like only fools and horses whenever I try and speak French. From Spinneys, the guys responsible for bringing this incredible produce to stores across the UAE. Stay with us here on Dubai Eye 103.8. We have got your chance to win all of these ingredients by watching. So I would say during the headlines, get the chance, hop on over to YouTube, get into the comments and tell me your favourite French dish, ingredient, or indeed invention. More from myself, Helen Farmer, and Chef Hadrien on the other side of the headlines if you are tuning in on Dubai Eye 103.8. So, Chef, our duck breasts are out of the pan
in the oven
and into the oven.
Yes, 200 degrees. I would say a good like 10 minutes. Then we're gonna let them rest. We're gonna slice them and see how it's cooking.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna make a bit of noise because I need to blend the celeriac cream.
It's better to do it during our YouTube so we can see what's going
on. Salted butter, smoked garlic. I'm gonna blend it and make a compound butter out of it.
I turned my head for 30 seconds and you've made a butter. Okay.
I use the fact that you were talking with French people to do it, to bypass and do some stuff.
Okay, you get what you need for some blending.
Yes.
Yeah? Perfect. Guys, keep those messages coming in the comments. I'm going to catch up with producer Zena and find out some of your incredible suggestions, your favorite French ingredients, dishes, so you can win everything. But do stay with us after the show today. You can hop on over to the radio. You can be winning a Christmas tree from Spinneys, and we've got some other great prizes as we talk food all the way through the afternoon. And if you're enjoying this episode, don't forget you can, of course, share it on YouTube too. So, producer Zena, I would love it. Hop into the comments. Tell me what people are saying. For Chef, it's croque monsieur. I have to say, for me, it's baguette, especially looking at this amazing compound butter. So, Chef, tell us a little bit about what's going on here.
So we basically cooked all the vegetables. I'm checking them with my knife. So the whole process is to like put your knife, and if it falls by itself means that they are already cooked.
But if there's resistance and it stays on, it needs a little longer?
Exactly. But you don't want to overcook them because we're just going to glaze them. And as I told you, we're going to use also like this as a stock that we're going to be able to like glaze our vegetable with.
Okay.
So I really wanted to show today that, in one pan, you can use to do different things.
What's your current favorite on the Chez Wam menu? What are you really excited to have?
I do love the beef tartare. I think I put a lot of love inside it.
It's delicious.
Yeah, it's actually smoky. So we smoke the beef and then we create kind of like a Japanese seasoning out of it. So it's seasoned with a gomaku dressing.
And what are you serving with? It was like a big giant crisp when I had it on Sunday.
Yeah, it's
almost like what I would call a poppadom.
It can be a poppadom. It's a rice cracker. The rice cracker that we fry. I wanted this beef tartare to be Japanese.
Okay,
so Japanese French. So black sesame dressing, smoked, something more creamy, I will say, and more with a better flavor profile than a normal steak tartare. Because tartare is amazing, but I feel like it's always a bit the same texture and same flavor.
It is, and then you feel like you have to be adding in your egg, your conchon, to make it, exactly. Whereas everything you need is on that plate.
Go for it and done.
So we're blending over here.
Yes.
Who have you brought with you today, knowing that I am going to be useless?
You told me you're going to be useless.
Who's off camera?
So I brought one of my staff who's actually obviously helping us to create
bring it all together, the power of television.
So we are blending the butter with the garlic to make the compound butter that we will use to glaze with the vegetable stock, our roast vegetables.
So that's not a butter that you would put on baguette. That's going to be for cooking. You could even with the raw garlic?
Yes, if you like garlic, it's like can be very strong. And that's actually what we're going to do with the pink radish. Okay. My dad used to have that. It's very French. You have pink radish as a start of a meal with some butter. And you eat it like this.
Would that be like, sorry, excuse my ignorance, would that be something a very foodie family would have, or was that quite typical French?
Very typical French. Things that you will have as an aperitif, I will say. So you will have a pink radish and butter, and that's it.
I read the book, French Children Don't Throw Food. Do your French children throw food?
I mean...
they don't. The book is true.
They are picky eaters.
Are they really?
Yes. So
that's really interesting.
Challenging, but it's
how old are they?
4 and 2. Okay. My little boy is 2. He's okay. He eats anything.
But then they turn.
Yeah, but my little girl is a bit more picky. She knows also what she wants, and she's so cute because she's like, my dad is a chef, and she's like, I want to eat Chef One food. I want to eat a burger.
Oh my
goodness. She's
actually
very cute.
She's the luckiest girl in the world.
Yeah, so I think it's not a good start, I will say.
No, but it's interesting because I'm going through this with my youngest in terms of picky eating, and it's really emotional for parents.
It's very hard.
You're spending the money on the food, you're cooking the food, you're offering the food, and it's like a no. Yeah. And it's them asserting themselves, I think, in some way to have some agency in an area that when they haven't got money, we feed them when we want to, we take them here, we take them there, and it feels like food, unfortunately, is something they feel like have some control over. But it's that age, that kind of 2-3, when they turn, because my youngest was amazing, and now let's just say we've all cried.
It's just sudden.
Yeah, it's tough. So, guys, it's so good to have so many of you with us this afternoon. A quick look at the comments in the YouTube. Celine, that's a nice French name. Hi, Celine, saying French onion soup is her favourite.
Yes.
We've had Irene saying bouillabaisse, and Brie, Shay going for the cheese, Brie and Camembert. Do you have a favourite cheese?
Yes, I love brie. I love reblochon. Reblochon is my favorite.
Oh,
Reblochon, you can eat it like this, or you can like make what we call the tartiflette or reblochonnade in France. So you basically melt the cheese and you create something that is madness, but you eat it only during the ski season.
like raclette.
Yeah, same style.
Same thing.
But you put it with like potatoes and like sliced bacon. It's just
That
like
sounds
crazy.
divine. Obviously, we haven't watching us today, but tell us a little bit about what you're doing with those radishes.
So as I told you, a little surprise. It's really something that is close to my heart because it's something that my dad used to do a lot. It's basically like a pink radish that we serve with butter.
So this is your tribute to your father.
Yes, it is.
That's a beautiful
So
thing.
it's really something that he used to have. So I'm going to show you now. We can like plate it like very simply. You can basically have like all your little pink radish on the plate.
Chef, has the rise of Instagram influenced what and how you cook or how you plate?
I mean,
Little?
obviously, I feel like it's you eat with your eyes, and I think like it's very important nowadays to see what's happening and to be like à la page, as we say in French.
Yeah.
You need to make sure that what you're doing look good first, and then after that, obviously, it needs to taste good. But I think you get a lot of influence lately about the trends. So you need to be careful of like keeping the trend alive, but not do it only for the trend.
Do you have people that come into the restaurant and will show people something they've seen on Instagram
Yes.
saying, I want to eat this,
Yes.
without even looking at the menu?
Yes, it happens.
Which dishes come to mind with that?
A lot.
All
to be
of
honest,
a
it's
lot.
just like I want this. Okay, no problem. Without really like knowing what it is, but it's okay. I think that's what's happening.
And also when you're in a multicultural city as well,
Yeah.
photos are important for people who like, okay, so our radishes are there.
I know it's very rustic and very straightforward.
I love
but
it.
that's the way you do it basically.
So we've taken out some of the vegetables
Yeah.
from here. What's left in here and how long will this be cooking in the pot?
This one we can stop it. Actually, it's just like a stock. So now it became like our vegetable stock, and we're gonna use it to glaze actually this vegetable with a little bit of our butter. And basically, water and butter doesn't mix well until you boil them, and it creates an emulsion. So we're gonna kind of create an emulsion, and it will glaze everything and become something really.
Just remind me, what is in the butter?
Butter, salt, pepper, and smoked garlic.
So the smoked garlic. I mean, when I was in Spinneys picking it up, we're coming back on live, so this is a good time because we can tell everyone what's happening with this with this stuff. Because we're coming back on Dubai I-103.8. Helen Farmer with you, and we are live from Spinneys HQ. I'm not alone. I'm just getting in the way of Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham. He is making an amazing roast duck breast. I mean, the duck breast is enormous. I thought it was like an ostrich when I came into kitchen. It's enormous.
It is, no?
So you scored it. We had it fat side down in the pan, and then it went into the oven for how long, Chef?
As I said, I think like a good 15 minutes at 200 degrees.
And now it's going to chill out. And we've got the rongis. Am I getting closer?
Rangis.
Rongis. It's just not getting in my head. The amazing produce. Let's have a little recap for anyone that's just tuned in. What we are using, because you've just picked up what looks like some of those amazing wild mushrooms Wilson was explaining.
So again, I'm a big fan of like being able to cook at home, but not to do a big mess and not to have to use 200 saucepan and frying pans.
My kind of cooking.
This pan was hot in the oven. We removed the duck breast. We're using the fat of the duck to actually cook our mushrooms.
Oh, wow.
This wild mushroom don't need too much cooking. So we just kind of like, we call this in French, tomber. So they just like fall.
I was about to say, that means to fall.
Yes.
Okay.
So we just like, using them like in a way that we just like cook it just to like warm them kind of.
And get some flavour from the duck
Yes,
fat.
exactly.
Now, people that are listening today, I would say hop on over to the YouTube because you can win some amazing produce there. But during the headlines, you had some amazing radish. Would you mind explaining a little bit about the radish and the batter that we're going to be serving them with?
So basically in French, it's something that you do a lot. We serve like a pink radish at the beginning of a meal with compound butter. So as of today, we use the smoked garlic to do it.
Let's grab
But
that
you can use whatever you want. You can actually like even use, let's say, spices or I don't know, like tomatoes, and you can create your own butter at home. So
this doesn't sound like a very obvious thing to say,
no,
but
this is
my
beautiful.
goodness, it's the smell of the smoked garlic. It's like you've been sitting next to the fire or a bonfire and you wake up in the morning and then... Okay, so we've had a dollop of the compound butter into our fresh, incredibly delicate-looking mushrooms to give them a little bit of a garlic tinge.
Yes.
We've taken some vegetables out, and you're making the stock. We're going to have some more butter in the stock.
No, but we're going to glaze the vegetables with the stock and some butter, obviously.
Okay, perfect.
No choice. You know me now.
I know, butter is better. And our duck breasts are resting for roughly half as long as they were in the oven.
Yeah, exactly. So let's say that they cook for 10 minutes in the saucepan or frying pan. They were like 10 minutes here. So it's around 20 minutes. If you do between like 8 to 10 minutes maximum, you're going to be good,
Let's talk about the brunch because, as I said, there was dancing pretty early in the afternoon. But the food was really, really important too.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through a little bit about how you select dishes from the main menu to be served up, I guess, in a way, it's family style, it's brought to the table, but you still wanted to be showcasing the essence of the restaurant. What's on the brunch menu?
On the brunch menu, we really use the same ingredient that we use on the a la carte to make sure that we don't compromise on the quality of the products we're using. I didn't want to do a brunch like everyone else, a normal brunch. I wanted to create something that is really about Shewam.
Yeah, representative.
So, yes, it's a sharing concept. You see it, you have a DJ, you can select your song. The DJ will play the songs, and you have the same quality of food that we serve on a la carte, but we created it in a brunch way, so it's at least like relevant to the style,
He played my song.
Yes.
It was Blackstreet, No Diggity.
Oh, nice. Okay. Very cool.
Very pleased. But we were just talking then about the steak tartare and having some of the Japanese influence in there, some sesame dressing, the giant rice cracker. There was a deep fried cheese.
Camembert.
Oh my days. It was incredible. But then the chicken adobo.
Yes.
Tell us about that kind of blindsiding curveball, because it was absolutely delicious.
Look, I think, when we opened the restaurant, obviously we have a different type of cultures and different religion in our kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And my Filipino staff was cooking, the adobo and for the staff meal. And I was like, oh, that's actually like very good.
It's really
Let's put it on the menu, but let's make it Shewam. They all look at me like, are you sure you're going to like put that on the a la carte? And I was like, yes, why not? It's a Dubai restaurant. So Dubai restaurant should have also like things from different cultures, different varieties. And we created like a poulet adobo that...
well, it's what my kids are growing up eating.
French revisited,
It's beautiful. And it's served with a giant couscous, I think. Is that right?
So it's kind of like my Moroccan time influence that I brought to.
I love that, bringing it together. So I'm not going to say it's the best chicken adobo in town because I have not tried them all, but certainly an elevated one with the French twist.
Always.
So Zena's like wanting to go. I can see. Yeah, Zena, it's excellent. So, Chef, we've just had a ladle of your stock into the pot. For anyone who's just tuned in, tell us about the root vegetables that we've been cooking with this afternoon.
So we cooked the vegetables in the stock, so basically in water and their own juice, and now it's creating, let's say, a vegetable stock that we can use to actually cook our ingredients in. So we are glazing them with the help of the vegetable stock and some butter to make them glazed.
And there is parsnip in here. There is the carrot, the shallot,
and beetroots.
Some beetroot.
Yeah, betterave.
Betterave.
Betterave jaune.
It's a yellow beetroot.
Yeah.
See, I remember my French colours. Don't make me count, or indeed sing. What languages are your kids speaking?
French and English. My wife is half Australian, half Turkish, and a little bit of Turkish now. They're putting it into it.
Do you cook when you're at home, or is that more?
You want the truth? Or?
Yeah, I want the truth.
No, I don't.
Your wife's in charge.
My wife was a very bad cook at the beginning, and she was really scared to cook with me because I'm a chef. And then she became an actually excellent cook because she has no choice and she has to feed the family and herself. And now I have to say she's extremely good at it.
Got competition.
No, but I think cooking is about passion and love. If you don't appreciate cooking and if you don't really like it, no need to do it, you know.
I get it. I think a lot of people just feel quite anxious about being in the kitchen. You know, like I love to cook for the kids, but if someone said you've got 10 people coming for dinner tomorrow night, I would be in therapy before and after. So
Yeah.
what if you're cooking for, you know, a big group,
Yeah.
what would you be doing so you can actually spend time with your guests?
That's always the problem. Like I feel like when you're cooking, you always try to do a lot of things, and then you end up like spending more time in the kitchen than with your friends.
And that's not why people come to your house for dinner, right?
No, and also like I don't appreciate anymore like eating, because when you're cooking, you are actually like having all the senses and all the flavors. You have to try the ingredients, and then I feel like you're losing a little bit of the surprise of the menu.
That's a good point. For people that are listening, I know those who are watching us on YouTube will see exactly what Chef Hadrien has just done. What's in our pot now?
So we have all the root vegetables. I put the little mushroom also inside. Now you can see all the evaporation is happening, and basically we're gonna kind of like glaze. So the stock and the butter will kind of like glaze the ingredients together.
Perfect.
Don't be scared. I keep adding butter, but it's the way it is.
We've got about 10 minutes to plating. We're on time?
Of course.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
Right. If you are listening, hop on over to the YouTube so you can watch through a little bit of time off. And we are going to be catching up in just a few minutes. Head over to the YouTube, tell us your favorite French ingredient, your favorite French dish, and you can be winning everything we've been cooking with today. The radishes, the duck, the freshness of those. Oh my goodness, the mushrooms smell amazing. Tell us that in the comments. We'll be giving a bit of a recap on that on the other side of this. So, Chef, it is time to...
Perfect.
Happy?
Very happy.
I'm going to grab my specs so I can see exactly what's going on. How long will the vegetables stay in here? And you happy with the temperature?
Like, 3 minutes, just to
3
really
minutes?
like
Okay.
glaze them. So you can see now like the duck is actually amazing. It's like still juicy. We call it rosé in French. So there is
Just the pinkness.
yes, and different technique. You can actually do like big slice, or you can do small slice. It's more about how you want to plate it.
How do you know when it's rested enough? Guess.
Being a chef,
Years of
professional
experience.
of 20 years. No, I feel like, you know, when you see that the juice is coming out of your product, it means that the resting is good enough, and you're good to go. You can see it's still like dripping. So that's like the part that means that, yeah, you're on the right track.
Perfect. Now, our friend who's been off camera has put this celeriac into a piping bag. This is
Celeriac
very
and
chefy.
It's very chefy. I mean, this is very chefy. We have our little tweezers. It's very chefy, but you know,
That looks amazing.
so we have our celeriac cream. Again, you can plate it the way you want. There's no really like. So you can see now. I don't know if you see this making bubble, but it's kind of like glazing all the ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
So the water is like
It smells
evaporating.
So good.
So you just like
Keep it moving.
turn them until it like kind of like evaporate fully and glaze them. So I'll remove that.
Ooh. That smells so good.
Yeah, not bad.
What's the most ordered dish on the Showan menu right now?
I would say the fried camembert is a hit.
What? And it came with, I think, like a sweet chili and something?
Yes, it came with a sweet Philly chili sauce. It's basically a sauce that my wife was doing when we first dated. So I always say to myself that I will put it on the menu.
What did she do with it?
She was just doing like a cheese platter,
And
it
dip?
was a dip, you know.
Yeah.
So she was like really using it as it is, you know.
With a cracker or
Yeah, exactly. Very Australian of her.
So
you know?
now you're doing a cheese with a cheese dip.
Yeah. And people are like, why are you doing a cheese dish with a cheese dip? And I was like, well,
Why
not?
wouldn't I?
Yeah, exactly.
Like put these hands together.
Yeah, we can, no?
Let's just keep going with the good stuff.
That's the beauty of it.
How many people do you think this would serve, Chef?
I would say 4 people.
Yeah.
1 duck breast for 2.
Okay,
That's
even
more than
the
enough.
mega ones.
Yeah.
They're just enormous. I think we might head over, and I know we're early. I'm loving it. So I think what we might do is we might go and have a little seat in the chat on the other side of this, because we can.
Okay.
So should we clear some space for Hadrien and I to head on over in a few minutes, or we can...
So we have the duck breast here. So again, as I told you, many ways of plating it, but what we want to do now today is just to have it like, more something like simple that you can do at home.
Incredible. Tell us again about this dressing.
So maple syrup, a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper, and the whole grain mustard. And you can let it drip on one side only.
I'm desperate to get in here. Look at
voila.
this. Can I just say?
Yes.
This was a complicated dish, but you finished before, I think, any other chef in Farmer's Kitchen history. It's true. It's true. We're going to be picking a winner in just a few minutes. So if you are, as you are watching on YouTube, head to the comments right now and tell me your favorite French ingredient or dish, invention even, and you could be winning all of this beautiful hamper of goodies. And then later on, you can get on the radio and win a Christmas tree. Tell me about some French traditions around Christmas time.
French traditions. I don't know if we really have like French tradition. I think. What
would you eat on? Is it Christmas Eve or Christmas Day?
Christmas Eve. Turkey, foie gras, oysters, salmon. I mean, we are French, so forget. We're gonna put all the high-end ingredients on the table and we're gonna smash it.
And then Christmas Day.
We don't really do Christmas Day, to be honest. It's more like eating the leftovers.
That's the best bit.
There's a lot of leftovers, so you're still like eating a lot.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I think it's always like kind of a feast during Christmas where you really get like everything out of it.
How do you plan that in your family then? Because seafood in Australia, big thing on Christmas Day because of the weather.
Yes. We do a mix. It's important for the kids also to understand their roots. So we want to make sure that they get a mix of everything. So a bit of Frenchness, a bit of Turkishness, and some Australianness.
I think we need to slice this. We've got a really hungry crew here
that's why
I can see really want some
they're
amazing
smoked.
They're like, come on, chef.
Yes. They're like,
and this is my lunch.
Talking.
So I'm going to have a few minutes to sample this. And is any seasoning required with this, or are we getting that from the dressing and from the glaze?
Yes, look, you can see like the glaze is like, you see?
I'm going to grab a spoon so I can taste the glaze. If
I have like some clean one here.
Hang on, we might have one here.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go in. I want to taste it all together, but I really want to taste.
Up, be careful.
Up. Thank you. You have the gloves on. Ooh.
So you will see, you feel like the mushrooms, you feel the roots vegetables, the flavors of the stock is there. And then you have the garlic
earthy.
Also. Yeah, it's really earthy.
Oh,
like it actually works really well together.
That is divine. We're going to be back on the radio for some tasting, actually, in literally 1 minute. So I'm going to get knife and fork so I can try all of this. Oh, this is the best job in the world.
You can also, plate it.
You could do that and then do like sharing style.
I mean, come on, it's all about food and love. It doesn't need to be fancy every time. It can be just like simple, straightforward, and
I think I prefer this.
Yeah,
I think so, especially with kind of festive season. This is real autumnal.
More family and
You mentioned the adobo's gone from staff meal to the menu.
Yeah.
What else is being made in the kitchen?
I think from staff meal to the menu, nothing else. But we have a lot of surprises that are coming very soon.
We're coming back, right? Oh, I can't wait to taste this. Helen Farmer with you, and I am not alone in the kitchen here at Spinneys HQ. Chef Hadrien of Chez Wham has been teaching us some techniques a little bit about some of the produce from his home country, France. And while you guys were, relaxing, he has plated up finished up. No, I really have done nothing. And this was an exceptionally lazy show for me. I'll often chop, but I was a little bit intimidated by the knife. So if you've just tuned in, let's have a little recap, Chef. What have we got in front of us?
So we have the pink radish.
Can I try?
Of course. With the butter that is a compound butter made of smoked garlic. So it's something typical French. It's like that.
The right amount?
It's like that. I know it's very weird, but it works really well because the fattiness and the bitterness of the radish. So it goes kind of well together. Butter can be just a regular butter, or you can season it and compound, make whatever you feel like. And then on the side, you have the duck breast. that we roasted with a maple glaze and whole grain mustard sauce, and the root vegetables that we cooked and glazed with the stock and the black garlic, and the smoked garlic flavor.
Oh my goodness. Tell us a little bit about the cooking of the duck breast, because this, you said, rose.
So a little bit more than rosé, because sometimes rosé can be a bit like challenging, I would say, for people, which I understand. We're not all French and being raised eating raw meat, so I do like it that way, when it's like easy to eat, but you still have the flavor of the duck. Duck is a very special product, obviously, so not everyone likes it. But I think now with the balance of the sweetness and all the root vegetables and the celeriac cream with the vanilla, you need to try this.
I'm getting it all on one.
Yeah, this is really cool. And the vegetables needs to not be overcooked, obviously. So it's a very like Christmassy, autumnal dish,
It's super autumnal. Actually, we're doing festive next month. We're going to have Tom Allen from Dinner by Heston doing a Christmas roast, and Santa is going to be here sampling some Spinneys snacks.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Chef. We've got one last little bit of business. The winner of all of the ingredients we've been cooking with today is Irene, who said Boulebas.
Oh,
good choice.
Yes, very nice.
Irene,
she must be from south of France.
Let me know, Irene. Thank you so much, Chef Hadrien. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you, Helen.
We're going to feed our crew. I have to say, you've been one of the quickest chefs we've had on Farmer's Kitchen. I massively appreciate the timekeeping and the flavors too. This is my lunch. Thank you so much for your time.
Merci, bon appétit.
And it's Rangis.
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 Ouais.
We're going to leave it there. I'm never going to say that word again. It's been the challenge of my last hour. It's been a pleasure. That's us saying goodbye on YouTube, but we are staying on Dubai Eye 103.8 for more foodie chat here on Farmer's Kitchen.